Coda and Jira, two giants of workspace and project management. But which one really delivers? On the left, Coda, blending docs and apps for ultimate flexibility. And on the right, Jira, the go-to for software teams managing projects at scale. Let's skip the buzzwords and get to the real stuff. Each category earns points, and at the end, you'll see exactly who comes out on top. The result might not be what you expect. So, here's our mind map with all the categories we'll be testing these two against. We've got use case and flexibility, user experience, pricing model, integrations, security and compliance, collaboration, scalability, and finally, product focus. Ready? Let's jump in. Let's kick it off with use case and flexibility. Okay, Coda first. With Coda, the fun part is just how much you can bend it to your will. Like, you want docs, databases, automations, the works? You got it. It's perfect if you've got creative, cross-functional teams doing all sorts of projects together. Now, minor catch, it's not like laser-focused on hardcore software development. So if you're a developer, maybe keep listening. Now, about Jira. This is where Jira sort of flexes. Purpose-built for agile software teams. If Scrum, Kanban, and those super detailed dev workflows are your thing, Jira integrates really deep with the tools engineers love. But, and here's my pause, it's just not that flexible for folks who aren't coding every day. Sometimes, if you're not an engineer, it can feel a little bit intimidating. For this category, though, Coda just takes it, because honestly, that flexibility is hard to beat. All right, moving on to user experience. Starting with Coda. The interface? It's actually really nice. Simple, clean, super intuitive, and, no headaches digging around for stuff. Whether you're just messing with basic docs or leveling up with databases, it's a pretty gentle learning curve. Of course, when you dive into the advanced stuff, yeah, it can get a little hairy. Now, Jira. Jira's UI? Well, I'd say it's highly structured, and that's good for dev teams, right? You get all these customizations, lots of reporting, but for everyone else, honestly, the learning curve is steep, and the interface can be a bit much. So, Coda wins here. Way less intimidating to just jump in and get productive. Let's talk cash. Pricing model. Coda's approach is actually kind of clever. You pay for your doc makers only. So small teams, or those cross-functional squads, can start out super cost-effectively. There's a free tier, always a plus. Though, heads up, costs can stack up if your team's full of creators. And if you're enterprise, the details get a little fuzzy. Now, Jira. It gives you volume discounts for big teams. And the enterprise options are pretty transparent, which, hey, nice change. Free tier for beginners too. But honestly, that per-user pricing can get expensive as you scale. And the add-ons have a sneaky way of adding up. Winner in pricing? I'm going with Coda. For small teams and flexibility, it feels easier on your wallet. Hey, quick fact. Did you know that Coda started out as just a doc tool? Now you can actually build mini apps on it without writing any code. Kind of wild when you think about it. On to integrations. Let's talk Coda. It hooks up with popular apps like Slack and Google. And if you want custom connections, there's an API. So yes, it plays nicely with a lot of your workflow. But if you're a hardcore developer, a lot of those dev-specific integrations are, well, missing. And then there's Jira. This is where Jira absolutely goes off. It's got those deep ties into Atlassian tools like Bitbucket and Confluence, and honestly, hundreds of third-party apps. If you're working in the Atlassian ecosystem, it's almost seamless. So, around integrations, Jira takes the crown here, hands down. Let's chat security and compliance. Okay, so Coda's no slouch. You've got data encryption, granular permissions, two-factor authentication, GDPR, pretty solid for most businesses. But when it comes to big league, enterprise-grade compliance, Jira really steps up. SOC 2, ISO 27001, the works. Single sign-on, permission controls. If you're a security-first org, Jira's got you covered. This category goes to Jira. That enterprise grit is hard to argue with. On collaboration, here's where it gets interesting. Coda is awesome for real-time co-editing. You get this central hub for everything. Brainstorming, docs, crazy mixed media projects. It's honestly the perfect playground for diverse teams, though sometimes certain roles take a little longer to dive in. Jira, strong collaboration for those task-driven teams. Comments, mentions, notifications make coordination smooth as butter, especially if your whole team's focused on tasks. But it's not as free-flowing for, say, your creative brainstorms. So, collaboration winner? It's gotta be Coda. Scalability time! With Coda, you can scale up pretty well if you're running docs, small teams, or adapting to different setups. But as things get super big, documents can just get messy, like really unwieldy. Now, Jira, let's be real. Jira is designed for software engineering at massive scale, full-on enterprises and complicated release cycles. Sure, it's heavy for small or non-dev teams, but if you want something that just works for huge projects, Jira nails it. So, winner here, Jira. Last up, product focus. This is actually kind of fun. Coda shines for product, marketing, ops, you know, those go-to-market plans, roadmaps, OKRs, the whole shebang. Engineering teams, though, you guessed it, they usually want Jira. Jira's pretty much the industry standard for backlog, sprints, bug tracking. On the flip side, it's not super flexible outside of engineering. Honestly, I think this one's a tie. They both win just for their own audiences. Let's visualize how these two stack up. Picture a radar chart, where Coda owns flexibility, user experience, pricing, and collaboration. Jira's dominating integrations, security, and scalability. And on product focus, it's a dead heat. Pretty neat display of their strengths, right? So after all that, here's my final take. Coda is absolutely where you want to be if your team needs that flexibility, creative juice, and a super unified workspace. Like, think cross-functional magic. But if you're running engineering at scale, or just need a powerhouse for hardcore agile management, Jira's the way to go. Different vibes, totally different strengths. Want to try them out yourself? Head over to coda.io and jira.atlassian.com and see which one fits your team best. Trust me, it's worth a look.